Hey everyone, we're about to dive deep into self-determination theory. SDT. It's this absolute giant when it comes to understanding our motivation. But what if I told you there's a piece of it, a really crucial piece, that's been almost completely overlooked? We're going to crack open a kind of psychological cold case today, and what we find might just change the way you think about what drives you.
So let's just start with that question right there. What if a key to unlocking your own motivation has been hiding in plain sight this whole time? That's exactly what we're getting into. We're going to investigate a theory that was once foundational, but then just sort of vanished. Ready? Let's do this. All right, so this mystery theory, it's called causality orientations theory, or COT for short. Now, this was actually the second mini-theory that came out of the whole SDT framework. And its big job was to look at motivation from a personality angle. To figure out the stable, individual ways we each approach the world to get ourselves going.
And here's the part that you really got to get. COT isn't asking what motivates you. Like, is it money? Is it passion? Is it fame? Nope. It's asking how you're fundamentally wired to find motivation in the first place. Think of it like your motivational default setting. It's the style you naturally fall back on when you engage with anything.
So this brings us to the three big motivational styles or orientations that COT lays out. The idea is that we're all a mix of these three, but usually one or two of them are kind of in the driver's seat for us. Let's break down what they actually are. First up, we've got the autonomy orientation. If this is you, you tend to operate from a place of genuine interest and your own core values. You know what you need, you actively look for chances to make your own choices, and you really feel like you're the one writing your story. You are quite literally the captain of your own ship.
Okay, next is the controlled orientation. This style is all about being guided by things outside of yourself. Rewards, punishments, deadlines, or it can be internal pressures, those nagging I should or I must voices in your head. If this is your dominant style, you're often looking for these controls to tell you what to do, almost like a marionette being pulled by strings. And the third one is the impersonal orientation. Now, this one is all about feeling a lack of control, a sense of helplessness. People who are high in this orientation tend to believe that they just can't get the results they want no matter what they do. It's that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, like a cork just tossed around on the waves. And that, as you can imagine, leads to a real lack of motivation. Seeing them side by side like this makes it so clear, right? On one end, you have autonomy. It's all about choice, interest, and starting things yourself. In the middle, you have the controlled style, which is about reacting to pressure. And then on the far end, the impersonal style, where effective motivation is just gone. It's a fantastic snapshot of these totally different ways of being in the world.
Okay, so if this theory is so clear and fundamental, how in the world did it become the forgotten one? This is where our little investigation really kicks off. What went wrong? Let's follow the clues. Well, researchers point to three main culprits. First, the entire field of psychology kind of shifted. It moved away from measuring broad personality traits. Second, you had these newer, shinier theories pop up within SDT itself, like basic needs theory, and they just stole the show. And third, and this one's a big practical problem, the tool they used to measure all this, the GCOS, was just a pain to use. We're talking up to 20 minutes to fill it out. That's an eternity in research.
And if you want the smoking gun, here it is. Just look at this table. It shows the academic citations for the different SDT mini-theories. Now look at causality orientations theory. Barely over 1,000 since 1985. It's absolutely dwarfed by the others. The data doesn't lie. For decades, this theory just fell off the academic radar. So here's the verdict in our case. Despite being ignored for years, this theory is actually more important than ever. Why? Because it's the absolute key to understanding something psychologists call integrated functioning. And trust me, this is where it gets really practical for all of us. But what in the world is integration? Well, to put it simply, it's about having a sense of wholeness, of coherence. It's when your actions, your values, and your feelings all line up and make sense together. And the research is pretty clear. This feeling of inner consistency, this unity, is a direct result of having an autonomous orientation. And this integration isn't just an abstract idea. It shows up in three huge areas of your life. With a strong autonomy orientation, there's more harmony between what you say you believe and what you actually do. Emotionally, you get better at accepting all of yourself, the good and the bad. And socially, it leads to more open, honest, and resilient relationships. It means less inner conflict and more just being you without all the effort.
Now, we have to make a really crucial distinction here. When SDT talks about autonomy, what they call reflective autonomy, they don't mean being a stubborn, rebellious person who refuses all help. That's a common mix-up called reactive autonomy. No, true, healthy autonomy is about acting from a place of real, authentic choice. And here's the cool part. Instead of pushing people away, it actually makes your relationships better because you can engage with others and even rely on their advice in a much more genuine way. So, the good news is this forgotten theory might be staging a comeback. Researchers are now looking at it again, realizing it has this unique power to explain the deep down workings of our personalities. The story's not over.
So what's the game plan to bring it back? Well, first, they need to plug it into the modern models of personality we use today. Second, they can use it to tackle the big life questions, right? Like how our motivational style predicts our success in our careers, our health, our relationships. And finally, and this is a big one, they need to create better, shorter, more modern tools, so measuring these orientations isn't such a chore. And that brings us to the end. We've reopened the case of psychology's forgotten theory, and I hope we've shown just how powerful it can be for understanding ourselves. So I'll leave you with one last question to chew on. When you think about the captain, the marionette, and the cork, which one do you think is guiding your ship most of the time?